Hey, welcome back to video number 3 of this here music box. Let me just go getting started. So in the last video we built this music box playing music that hopefully you can hear now and it's not too loud over me. If not, it'll stop in a minute. And it plays animations. So let's continue. Let me just get a look at what we're gonna do today. So let me just get this out of the way. Yeah. So we are gonna start by picking up from last time, showing the attenuation in action, which is the when the music fades. So I'll put the music back on in a minute. We'll set the animation montage. I mentioned that because you saw the animation is jiggling, not but now it's just jiggling or lagging because my computer is not focused on the game. Then we're gonna create some custom events to help with the next song. We're gonna update the UI with the R and T key for the next and previous song. And then we're gonna set those up. So yeah, we're just gonna get a general expand upon it. It's gonna be fun. So let's get to it. Hopefully you can hear the music now. So let's just start with looking at the attenuation that we talked about, the settings we did and copied into our sound cue. And that just means that if I walk away from the music box, the music becomes lower. At least I hope it's being picked up as lower. OBS tells me it's lower, so I'm very certain. And it will even go away completely. If you remember the settings where we said, what is it, play on, keep playing, something like that. You can see the previous video. We'll have a look in a moment. That means that the music is actually playing now. So if I walk back, you can hear how the music has continued to play. And it wouldn't do that if we didn't use sound cue and it didn't have that setting in the attenuation. Although it would restart or stop when you left. But now we have it. And it becomes louder until we reach within the limits. Remember that 200 number? So that's quite a cool effect. Yeah, quite nice. It's working. Good job. So I think I said at the end of the last video that we should have a look at the jumping animations. And it is actually not in the montage, it is in the animations themselves. They have as standard on the blend options some blend in, blend out, and blend triggers. So make sure we set those to 0 for blend in, blend out, blend time, and blend out trigger time 0, and enable also blend out off. And make sure to save. And then we just need to do that for all the animations. So blend times 0, blend times 0, there we go. See the little star, so we save, close. And notice we're doing this on the animations and not the animation montage. There is still a link when you make a montage. So settings like these are done on the animation, at least in the way that we're doing them now, and the way that we are, or in this project, the way that we're calling or activating the animations in our blueprint. So we'll just go through this one by one. Already done this. Didn't save. Also, I said something wrong. Silly. Of course I'm changing the blueprints. Animations are the green ones. I now said it wrong again, blueprint. I am making this change on the montage. That's where this comes from. Sorry, I got that wrong. The green ones are the animations. These settings come when you make a montage. That's the way around. Sorry, I got that wrong. I was thinking when I said the thing, it's weird because you should be able to use the same animation with different settings, and of course you can. Montages can do so many things, and they're so happy to blend that they set up a little bit of blend just to try and help you. But the way we're using it on our music box, it creates an unwanted result. How many we got left? 2 left. There we go. So that if I Alt P for play, let's see if, yes, nice and smooth animation and music. It's all good. Cool. Let's see what's next. So next we're going to look at custom events inside our blueprints. So let's navigate back to content, music box blueprints, and let's have a look. So remember last time we set up here, is what happens when you press the E key. That first we dock in the UI, have a delay on that, then we undocking it, and then we play an animation and then delay it. We get the record, delay, wait until that animation's finished, and we'll start playing the record animation, and then we load in the audio, play the audio, wait for the audio to finish, and then we will put the record away. And potentially the middle part, like saying play the record animation, get the song, play the song, wait. This is something that we want to repeat even though you have, selected next song or previous song. So we don't have to redo that. We can kind of put that in separate, so we can reuse that for all our buttons. We can do what is called a custom event. If you remember, we have these events, the red notes. So this is when the player enters the box, exit the box, presses E. We can make it here. Come on, press tab. There we go. We can make a custom. If I can spell it, it's a lot easier to find. Custom event. Add custom event. And I'm just gonna name this play song. Maybe even play song event, just to make sure that I keep things separate. So this will be the start. This will be just like this. And the way that I can move to this event is under here, under my graphs, under event graph, I now have play song event. So I can pull that in. And you see that'll be like going to and activate this event. And for this I can put it in like this. There we go. And then I can attach like this. So after I've gotten the record animation, then everything else is gonna be repeatable. So this is how I can set this up. So then I can, for clarity, move this out a bit. We need this as well. Go there, and remember the comments with it, those are going to come in handy. So we can do comment on this. So we can know that this goes together, and this one is E key is pressed, and this event here, comment, play song. There we go. Now we can arrange this. This is nice. We can keep track of things. So let's talk about set a little bit up more on how to control or identify what song is being played. Do you remember we had this playing song integer variable, and we aren't really using it yet, but you can maybe sort of see what's going to happen. So if you go through the E again after this, we get a play select record animation, and we get 0. We get the index 0 in the array in the list we have. We get the first one. So you can kind of see that we can connect an integer here, and if we change this to 2, it would select the third one, 0, 1, 2. Remember, that's our programmer's count. It will select the third animation in the array and play that. But for E, this is kind of static. When we press E, this will always be 0. This will always be the first. So that's what we are gonna set. Because we're gonna use this variable, we are gonna make sure that here, so set variable, we want to change it, we want to dictate. So before we jump to the play event, we want to make like a note. Think of it like leaving a note in a logbook or something. We want to change the variable so the next thing that looks at the variable gets the right information. So we want to go, yes, song 0, the first one is playing, and then continue with the event that will play song event. So I think it's time we set up the R button, which is going to be play the next song. So let's just compile and save this blueprint, and then remember in the UI, in the music bot widget, here we go, we can add another image, and I think we made it 200 times 200, right? Roughly the same size. Yeah, seems about right. And on the brush, we should be able to select the R, and we can add a text under, and change the text from text block to play next song. That way no uncertainty over what this does. So it's going to be very similar, if not exactly the same as with the E key, but well, I'll go through it, don't worry about it. So remember, click on the image, color and opacity. We have the option to bind, and we have some bindings, but we don't want. We want to keep the R and the E separate. So we have here darkened E key. That's not what we want. We want one unique for R. So create another binding, and goes to graph. And what was the name we called? You see it here, darken E key. So this will be. Couldn't do that. Darken R key. There we go. And then remember how we duplicated the return node. Control C, Control V. So we can have two different options, and we can promote these two variables. So we can control their settings, their values. And this top one is going to be UI R pressed. Yeah. Set the top one. You are going to be. Come on. Update. Thank you. Normal. UI R pressed. And we got a compile, so we can set the values. compile, save, and remember that this UI had 0.3, if I can find the right keys, that'll help. 0.3, 0.3, 0.3, and 1 in the alpha. We want it darkened but still visible. Save that, and the normal one, 1, 1, 1, all white and visible. Compile and save. Very good. And remember how we had a Boolean variable? So I said is ePress to help control with the decision to determine the state if the key is pressed. So we can make another one of that, and it's a Boolean. And let's keep the naming, if possible, is or pressed. That should be it. We can drag it in. And we want to get it, we want to read, we want to have its information, and then we add our branch so that our code can make some decisions. So we start, is the R key working, branch, if R is pressed is true, then use the pressed value, move this up, and if it's false, go down there, compile and save. Well done, we have the R key darkened. So we can now take that is compile and save, we go into our blueprint, and where we had the keys, so let's keep the keys together, so play song, because it's going to be working in multiple, we'll move that down. So we'll have another event, come on, there we go, pressing tab, event, and I don't really care what key because I'm gonna change it. So here, press the icon that is to me the fastest. I said R, and we're gonna duplicate a bit of these same logic. If it works, it works. So we have our music box UI. We can drag in, get the variable here from. So there should be one called is thank you phone is pressed, and we want to set it. There we go, connect, because now when E is pressed, that is true, R is pressed, and we're going to delay for 0.5. I'm looking up just to be consistent, it's always nice. And then we can duplicate this. There we go, now we turn it off. Compile and save. So let's just test it. We compile and saved. So all P for play. Let's go here. Hey, R shows up, and let's get dark. Very good. That's what we wanted. So since we're pressing R to skip to play the next song, it is very likely that we will interrupt the music that's already playing. So we should start by stopping the music, because the record and the music aren't really connected. We are the one making it here. So under audio, stop. And we put that down. Compile and save. That's it. Now the music will stop when we press R. And if the music has already stopped, it's just going to skip this. Nothing's going to break. So we're going to deviate from this in the further videos. I can't remember if it's planned for the next one or the ones after that. But for now, to keep it simple, we're building and expanding. Let's just assume that we interrupt the music. So what next would we like to do? We have this music box. It was playing music because someone pressed E. Now we pressed R for the next song. We got the key to glow or to darken in the UI. We're stopping the music. we want to remove the record from the music box. So we need to play an animation. Let's make sure we have animation from the music box. Here we go. And of course we want a remove record animation. There we go. We want to get one out of the array, and since we have an array, we want to get a copy. And here is where we can start it. We can talk again about our integer system. On E, if you remember, we set it to 0. Sorry, here. And then we determined to make sure that the song playing integer is 0. We identified the song playing is 0. So we can use that. That's the whole point. That's the plan to make this dynamic and reacting and remembering songs and all that. So we're going to take this variable, song playing, get it, and put it in here. So instead of 0, it will be whatever song is playing, because we can play next from song 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. No, because that's not how programming. Yes, it will be 0 the first time, but now it's dynamic and it's changing. So depending on whatever record playing we're interrupting, this integer will make sure that we are removing the appropriate animation. I hope that's clear. If not, you can shout at me in the comment. I'll try to. We'll do it many times. We'll keep calling back to this system. So I hopefully it'll be very understandable once this is done. And just like with all the other times, we want to make sure that we don't do anything until this animation has finished. So we're gonna do a get duration. If I can do that. Is that the other one? Is it length? What is it? There's a note I'm forgetting the name of. And the name is get play length. Plenty of notes to keep in mind of. So we get the duration of the animation, and we're going to put that in our delay node as the duration. There we go. So now the previous record has been put away. This is where I think it makes the most sense. We're kind of like in between records. This is where I like to think that it makes the most sense to change the integer, to set it. We're gonna change it because it was here song 0. We have removed record 0. So, and we're gonna put on the next record. So we're gonna make sure that whatever happens next knows what record that is. And that means that we are gonna take this song playing here, we want to read it, and then whatever number it is, we want to add, we want to plus, if you will, we want to add 1 to that value. So in the beginning it will be 0 plus 1, what will be 1, and we're going to put that into our song ID. There we go. So now the system has been updated, or will be updated, and the song ID will be updated. And that means, of course, that we can go through the whole process again of putting a record on. So we can play animation from the music box, and we want to play a get record animation because now it's empty, and we want to reach into it, put the record away, wait, update number, put the next record on. So from here, get a copy, put it in here, and since we here, let me get this in order, here we update it, the song playing ID variable. Now we can read it again with no problem. Get it, put it in. It's now the new song. We're gonna put the record on. Gonna get the play length, so we can do the delay for the animation to finish. So now we should be able to go back to our custom event, play song event, because we put on the record. That is where we separate it. So we go into that, and let's see if that works. Compile, save, Alt P to play, press E. There's a song. Let's see if something happens when we press R. The record is put away. The animations aren't going over. It is the seconds. Something's wrong. Something's not working. There we go. So if we have a look, because we made it to the play song event, all right, it started. If we have a look at our play song event, it will become clear that these skits, these sounds, these animations, they aren't dynamic. They aren't flexible. They're still set to when it was only the E key. So they're all still set to 0. They need to look at our song playing so they can update accordingly. Same here. So here was the right record animation, and here we get the right sound. And then we start playing the right animation. Oh, this is the remove. And you should do that as well. So we have record spinning, music playing, once finished, removed. Compile, save. Let's see if that's better. Alt P for play. Hello music box. E to start. Yeah, so far so good. Look at that. Ooh, it's working. So we now know that the integer was added 1. Can we play the next one? No, we cannot. Or maybe that was a There we go. So there seems to have been some error. Let's have a look. Okay, I'm back. That took a while. I found out the mistake. I found out what happened. It was in the remove record anim array. Some of the animations weren't the remove, they were the play animation. So of course they wouldn't remove, and that's why we had that skip. So yeah, let's just test it again. So we E and R, and we should be able to skip songs now. Alt P to play. That's just what being human is like. E to play. Selects them, plays the whole thing. Yeah. And then we press R, stops the animation, puts the record away, selects. There we go. And now we can get the other one. Yes, so it stops, puts it away. Nice, nice, nice. And we can see the system's working, the integer is getting updated. We can go all the way to the end. So here we have record 4, depending on how you count. And it's still working with the correct animation and stuff. It's very good. And the last one, which is shorter. And and I think I might have disabled that in the when I was trying to find the error. So yeah, there we go. Now it'll put it away. Good. And I duplicated this also as part of trouble finding. Just ignore it. It's all good. So yeah, interesting. That's what happens. Let me just check my notes and see what we're missing. So let's finish with the last button. We have R, the options to play the next song. Let's add T so we can play the previous song. So let's start with going back to the widget, and in the designer we have ER. Let's get another image, last one, and set it to 200 times 200. There we go, and there should be a brush somewhere here. Go for T, set the text. Let's see if I can get this previous, I guess, song. Let's put in play, so we had play next song, play previous song. It's all good. And as per usual, or as we might have learned, figured out the system, we're gonna do another binding on color and opacity. It's not gonna be dogging or E. It's gonna have its own. So here, call it dogging T key. There we go. Compile, save, duplicate the return nodes, promote to variables, move things around a bit just because, and compile and save. And this, if you can collect it, was the pressed. So UI T pressed, UI T normal, compile, save, set the pressed values there at 0.3, 0.3 and 0.3. One. Let's be consistent with capital U, capital I, and 1, 1, 1, and 1. Compile and save. Make a brand so we can make a decision. True to press, false normal. Let's make another boolean so we can know that is T pressed. Get it, because we want to read the value, put it in here, compile and save. And we can go back to the music box blueprint where we can have our next key event or event key. It finds something. I can use it. Make it T. There we go. So for all intents and purposes, playing the previous song is like playing the next song in reverse. So we can again duplicate a lot here. So let's, instead of R, well, let's get the UI. That's where we need get. And is there a is T pressed? And we want to set it. There we go. We want to set it on. I'll give it a delay on half a second, 0.5. And then we want there we go. There. Duplicate this. Now we want to turn it off. This is your target. Oh, come on. There we go. Let's You can actually duplicate this, right? Control C, Control E. Yeah, there we go. So we're gonna stop. Let's separate you before we make comments. So we're gonna stop the song, and then we're gonna play an animation. And of course we're gonna remove whatever disk is on there. Get a copy. You could copy it from up here, just the notes. I'd like to, just for practice, get it in there. And we're gonna paste this on this integer, so I'm playing there. Get play length to add to a delay. And then we're gonna set the song playing. And we're gonna do it based on the song that's already playing. But we're gonna subtract or minus, if you're such inclined, with 1. There we go. And then we're gonna play the next animation, because we have now removed the record and updated the the identifying variable. So now we can put the next one on. Get the song playing. Get the copy. Nope, that was the other one. Select record. Get a copy. And put the song playing into that. Put it into play because of the audio. I don't want to play audio just now. I want to play animation. There we go. Would have been nice if they made it play audio, but we'll work with it. Get play length into a delay. And yeah, we can go to the play song event. And that should be it. Let's compile and save. Press Alt P to play to test. There seems to be a picture missing. But it is working. That's probably because we're turning it off. Thinking, let's see, something's wrong here. Interesting. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay, so I must have forgot to compile or something. I found the error. So here, UIT normal, it's all set to hidden. This should be all ones. I don't know if I've got that, if it didn't save. Compile, save, Alt P. There we go. E to start. Functioning. R for the next song. Cool, and can we now go back? We can. Look at that. It's working. Cool. That'll be it for this video. Thank you for watching, learning, thinking through it. I hope you learned something. I hope you're getting some value out of this. You can shoot me any comments you like. We're gonna add the next videos. We're gonna add some systems. As you can imagine, I can press previous now on song 0, and that's gonna break. And all sorts of things we're gonna do with the UI. If you see, walk back. Oh yeah, of course you can't see it now. We're gonna add something to the UI. Maybe not next video, but in the next video after that. There is more to come. I hope you're enjoying it and getting familiar with Unreal. So yeah, thank you very much, and I'll see you in the next video.